journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens and come and spend a day in the 757. Hydro, the vapes and blunts I smoke. That's exactly what I need when I'm blowing on them trees.
All right, what's up, everybody? Here we are, the after show, but later. So much going on right now, but you know what? We're here, we're live, and we're ready to rock and roll. Luis, I know you had plenty of things you sent me, and you know what? Kind of didn't work out. So, where do you want to get started? I guess this is going to be us going completely bare bones and just old school Zoom sharing screen. So, yeah, man, where do you want to get started?
Hey man, it's all shinful, and I think the name of the game is as long as we're here and bullshit and having a good time, we can figure out the rest later. But shit, man, just kind of a recap. Fuck, like just kind of a couple of things that happened over the weekend and stuff. And I know we're midweek. One of the things I shared, and I want to say it was, I don't remember how many years ago it was now, but it's definitely been a couple of years. The famous Cavino barbecue picture. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where he had like 3 pieces of broccoli and like 2 weenies.
Yeah, and like that shit was like it went super viral, like not viral, but at least for the CNR group.
For the CNR group, it was viral.
Everyone was posting it, and then everybody was trying to like one up him on like, yo, this is what like a real fucking barbecue should look like and shit like that. And I just thought that shit was hilarious. And I think it was for Memorial Day, so I'm like, fuck, we missed it. Nobody said shit, like nobody posted it, and I had to go back in the archives and I like found just kind of Facebook and like Cavino famous barbecue, and like it was funny because like I went, it was probably what, 4 years ago maybe, and people were, it was just like a third of people posting shit, kind of talking shit. But yeah, we had our Memorial Day. Appreciate those who serve, and remember those who fallen, obviously. So and thoughts and prayers for those guys, and then I had a couple of things. I'm all bricked up. It's kind of hard to see, but at least where you can see right here, my little green screen here. You know what I mean? And not the bricked up that Spot might be thinking about. But it was a big topic of conversation today, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious. I was able to watch it. Kind of a perk for tier 2, right? For those of us who were able to see Rich's wall. What do you think, bro? What's your take on it?
Do you want to give a little recap on what happened?
Yeah, so sorry, bro. You're super good at that. I always just give like the facts and no background shit.
It's cool because we like to assume that everybody has watched everything and everybody's up to date. But just in the case that they're not up to date, let's give them a recap.
Absolutely. So basically, Rich has a neighbor who's remodeling his house inside and out, whatever. Rich is some Persian guy. Cavino apparently thinks he's Russian when he makes his little voice that whatever his neighbor sounds. But anyway, he's building. Rich had talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago where he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna build a wall in between our houses. Like, do you want to split the cost? Whatever. Like, how does this look like?" And apparently, well, if Cavino's saying such like, dude, like, I don't know how you're okay with this. Like, to me, that shit is ugly. Like, it's taken away from your house. And so he made him basically go live on his phone and go out and show us and shit, like the construction that the neighbor's doing. And it's like no bullshit, like probably what, 6 foot at least?
Yeah, I think Rich even said he had to pull like a different permit to make the wall 6 feet, which I thought was kind of odd because I thought 6 feet was pretty standard, but
it is for backyards. So I think front yards,
you're right.
And even in Vegas, like my back wall is just like what you see here in Rich's neighbor, but it's my back wall, so it's like 3/4 of my property. Now the front, I think it's 4 feet or 3.5. Don't quote me on that.
I never thought about that, about having a 6 foot wall in your front yard, like Yeah,
and so anyway, what happens is like if you're coming from one side of the block, like you can't even see Rich's fucking house because like the wall's so high, like basically you just kind of see the roof. And so I've never been to Rich's house, but they've showed pictures and videos. It just takes away from all the work he's done in his house and like the face value, if you want to call it that. I think there's flowers and shit out there, so it's like if you're driving down the street, it's like this big ass house, fortress they were calling it, and then a big ass wall, and oh shit, all of a sudden there's Rich's house. It definitely looks nice though. I guess I'm not gonna talk shit like the way the guy's doing it. Like he has a cinder block wall like this, obviously, but he's putting like decorated rock or stone on it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure it's gonna be like nice. I'm sure there's gonna be like bars and lights and all that shit to go on it. But unfortunately for the site on Rich's house, I don't think Homeboy's gonna do shit about it. Like, hey, bro, you got a brick wall. Like, you do what you want to do, right? And so Rich has been talking about, do I stucco it? Do I put some flowers and shit on it? But yeah, it was a big topic conversation, and I thought it was just to keep all the Mexicans out. Um, Also, it sounds like, Spots was saying that maybe Rich throws too many parties and shit. So that's probably why the guy's like, I need to put a wall up. There's so many people coming over Rich's house all the time, and he needs to have some kind of privacy there. You know what I mean? Who knows? But obviously, I don't mind the wall, bro. Then it does kind of take away from his pad.
There was a couple of things. So one, I can't really see the dude's vision, dog, because right now I know it's ugly because it's in the process, right? Kind of like the room right now. I'm redoing this stuff so I can have it. This is going to be my new permanent area, but right now in the process it looks like shit. So I understand, or like when you're growing your hair out, right? You get that weird awkward phase where it looks ugly for a couple of months, and then you start to get into the look that you're going for. So I can't really see what the hell he's trying to do. I could see the way they have the brick on and all that. Lisa's here. Thank goodness Lisa's here. I know it's super late, Lisa, where you're at, so appreciate you being here. But the hard part is, dog, is that like I know Cavino wanted to throw up when he saw it. And they were talking about the curb appeal that it messes up because when you're coming down the street, you can't even see Rich's house anymore. But the thing that sucks is that what can you really do? Like, I know Rich was talking about getting, he's got a chick friend that doesn't mind speaking her voice. So he was going to have her go out there, or maybe have like Nicole or somebody with that, doesn't mind being very vocal, go over there and open her mouth. However, what's that going to do? If this dude followed everything, pulled his permits and everything, what's it going to do besides start like friction within the neighborhood? Because if this dude did it properly, that as much as I understand his aggravation and as much as I would be just as pissed, right? I'm still like, what can he do though, really? Like I don't know. Like what do you think? I'm asking you, Luis, or Lisa. What is it? What do you guys think that can be done? Do you think like if Rich comes at him, he's gonna say you're right and take it down? He's already spent thousands of dollars just to get it where it's at. So I don't understand what's the point of even starting a neighbor war. I don't know.
It kind of sounded like the guy had already talked to him about it, and I guess Rich okayed it in a way. Maybe he didn't understand what he was okaying, or like, yeah, it's cool, and then it got all crazy big. But and I think it was more. If Rich didn't live there and you drove by, you're like, damn, that's gonna be a sick ass house with a sick ass wall. To be honest, you know what I mean? That's what I would say. Like, fuck, that guy's spending some money. Like, it's a big ass castle now. There's some of those in Vegas. I get what they were saying. Like, all of a sudden this house looks like it doesn't belong,
Yeah.
which doesn't matter. I mean, at that point, is it really gonna be? Does it really cost you? Not really. And to Rich's point, it's gonna look better than some of the shitty ones where they're just weeds and shit just growing out. We're like, bro, whatever. So at least people are investing in it. I think Cavino's just that guy who's very optical about shit, and flashy and shit like that. Not that that matters, but yeah, like Lisa said, she's not, if it was her house, she wouldn't drive that way from her house. She would drive the other way, right?
That
Because it's
sucks,
true.
though.
Like,
It sucks because this is Rich's forever home. So for the rest of his life, he has to drive the opposite way. That's terrible.
it'll just prevent future shit. Like, I'm sure when Rich does whatever he's gonna do to it. And I get what they were saying, like, hey, if you match his aesthetic and shit,
Yeah.
that whatever rock and shit, it probably won't match Rich's house. Like, just do your own shit that matches your house, bro. Like he was saying, he might stuck away, put some plants and shit like that, and it'll fit his style house. And who knows? I mean, maybe he fucking builds a wall on the other side eventually to match that, and then all of a sudden he has a fucking castle right next to the other castle. I'm not sure, but it
I
was
thought I
obviously.
had the best idea, but I think the best thing they could do, Doug, and tell me if you've ever seen this. Say they have I've seen this like on TikTok where it'll be the vantage point, right? You're staring at like a tree, right? And behind the tree it's like cars driving by or whatever. And dog, they paint the tree until it blends in with the background. Why doesn't Rich do that, dog? He's got that cash money, right? He's Mr. Marmaduke or whoever those people are with money. Where
The Buxtons.
or the Buxtons, right? So, Doug, why not? You walk out at Rich's house, right? And you're on his porch and you look over and it looks exactly like it did before. Because I'm sure Rich has a picture of how it looked before. Just have some freaking Vato come with some spray paints and different tips. We know we were talking about that a few weeks ago. Different tips on there, Doug. He'll go and make it look exactly like it used to look. You know, I mean, once he walks out a little bit, it's going to look a little weird. But if he if he wants to look right outside of his door at the freaking wall, it's like it won't even be there, dog. He can even do the sky. He could even do freaking, a little
street
soccer
sign.
ball. Yeah, dog. Yeah. A tree, dog.
A little bike like it's leaning on the wall.
I think, Doc, I think that would be the perfect solution if he just wants it to look a certain way from when he walks out of his house, right? I think that's the only solution here. I don't think confronting him, like Lisa said, is going to make any difference. All it's going to do is start problems. Now he's going to be like, my friend. I thought we were, whatever. Now it's going to be every time he comes out, it's going to be a headache. So I don't know, Doug. I don't know what can come good out of it, but it just sucks that Rich, and this is one thing that I didn't understand. They said that the brick, they said, oh, that's not going to be there. This is just temporary while they do something else. What the hell did they mean by that? I'm pretty sure that brick is there and they're just going to lay the, like the stack stone or whatever, like around on top of it. So I'm pretty sure that wall is there to stay.
Yeah, and I think he meant more just like this gray fucking look. Like once they put the stucco on shit, it would look like
I'm
a
not good at
wall, but
accents.
then you paint it or you decorate it as what you want. I think of a spot or someone says like, "Hey, fucking paint a nippy hustle fucking mural on that
Yeah.
Kobe one fucking." That might be more legit. Or even like Sarah, like "Welcome to House Rich,"
Yeah.
and some fucking thing and shit, some mural and shit, whatever. Or a big ass Mickey Mouse with fucking Rich's big ass head. It might
does
be all
blow
right
though.
up in there.
I mean, I understand Rich's frustration and Cavino getting frustrated for Rich because it does suck, Doug, because in a neighborhood that nice, like Rich has done plenty of video and pictures and all that from, his house outside. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And now you just have this big ass wall, dog. And the thing is, like they said, you're driving down the street. Before you could see Rich's beautiful house. Now, dog, you see his beautiful house. Now it's just a brick wall right there. Even if they get it all pretty and it's 100% complete, it's still blocking that part. So, like, it sucks, man. It sucks,
And Lisa says, is his neighbor Count Dracula? Apparently he's some kind of Persian guy, is what they were saying, Lisa, right? But I thought Cavino was like, bro, is that a Russian guy or what's going on? But maybe he needs to fine tune his. We all know he's good at voices, but I thought he was fucking Russian the way Cavino
Yeah.
was making him sound.
But that, you know what though, Doug? I had put on the actual title and all of that good stuff, the graphic and the thumbnail for this, that Rich's neighbor is a peeping Tom. And do you know why I or how I got to that conclusion?
Nah.
Okay, so check this out, right? I don't know how long this guy has lived there, but I'll tell you, if it's more than like 2 months, I can guarantee you he's a peeping Tom. Because, Doug, it just so happens that Cavino and Rich went and redid their studio, and they had a brick wall as their background. So I'm telling you, dog, this dude must have been peeking in like, hey, is the wife home? Peeking in. Oh, what is this they're doing in there? Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. Next thing you know, it's on his front lawn. I'm telling, dog, how, I don't care how long he's lived there. If he's lived there 2 months or he's lived there 12 years. Doug, they have a background as a freaking brick wall. Next thing you know, a brick wall's getting thrown up next door. I'm just saying, Doug, I think the dude was trying to sneak a peek at Sarah, Mr. Rich and his wife, right? And then looking, and then even if it's a subconscious idea or thought that he actually ended up going and doing it, he might have been looking for the missus, right? yo, where's Mrs. Davis, right? And then he saw the wall, never even consciously thought about it. And then he's home and he's like, I'm going to redo this house. I couldn't put a wall, right? So I don't know, dog. I'm just telling you, I think he had to be creeping, dog. He had to be peeking. He had to be looking and think about it. Even if he's not like a peeping Tom, dog, he had to have seen the freaking dude from the, what is it, like the booty barn or whatever, the guy that makes
barnyard or something.
Yeah, the right, the ones that come and make the backgrounds.
The booty barn.
Well, I don't know. Bringing in the backgrounds, right, and bringing in the fake brick and all that, right? I'm sure the dude had to be looking out his window like, oh, what's Mr. Rich doing today? Oh, right. And then Spot comes all hobbling in. Oh, in his Porsche. Dog, I'm pretty sure this dude, it was a show for him. He was there with this Persian popcorn. I don't know what they eat in Persia as popcorn. But dog, I guarantee you that had something to do with it. The fact that they either saw the panels coming in or the stack zone or whatever the guy actually put in there. I don't know what he put, but I guarantee you, dog, that the freaking that the neighbor, it had something to do with Rich. Guarantee. Lisa said I have a lot of weird theories, but I just want to hug Rich and Sarah. Yeah, I agree, Lisa. I want to hug Sarah too.
You know what's funny? Talking backgrounds and shit, I always try to like match my shit. And I'm actually at my home today. And the last couple of weeks I've been on the road and I was using my different computer.
Yeah.
When I went to go change my background today, it was the fucking brick from their background.
Yeah.
And I had another note on that too. It's like I seen a thing of Spot at the gym and I hit him up. Hey man, good to see you. Kind of doing some kind of rehab or whatever. Hopefully he gets well soon. Do you want to make a bet that Spot? I think Spot still has like what 3-4 months of recovery before he's like good to go again. Or even more than that. I'm almost willing to make a bet that Spot would be up and walking and running before fucking Rich and Cavino's fucking background's done. Or their studio.
I feel like that might be true because you know what? Hold on, let me change this back to the gallery view real quick. What did I do? How did I do this shit? All right, here we go. Yeah, no, because Doug, Spot's supposed to be down for like what, the next like 2 months or something?
3 maybe.
And Doug, I feel like, and I'm not mad at it. If they keep it this way, they keep it this way. The only thing I don't want to do, Doug, is be lied to, right? That's the only thing. If you're going to keep it this way, just be like, hey, you know what? We've been doing the show, making clips. It's been working out for us. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to keep it this way. But it's a work in progress. Doug, it's been a work in progress for 8 years now, I think, is what we just hit. Right, since Spot threw some primer at it and made it all white and ugly, and then they had to leave it like that for like a year and a half. So I don't care if you leave it like that, right? More power to you. The only thing is I don't want to be taken for a sucker, dog. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, another thing talking about fucking since we're on Rich Davis nutsack. Did you hear him talk about how he wanted, like, I think it was this last weekend, how he was saying how he needed to recharge his batteries, and he's like, hey, we're not doing shit. Like, I'm just going to go home and enjoy the hot tub and shit. I thought it was crazy because I don't think I've ever heard him, like, say that. He's always like, oh, let's throw a party. Oh, everyone come over again. And, like, the fact that, like, man, this fucking guy actually hit his limit, kind of, because it sounds like he was going back-to-back games, right, for little Benny, and then he was having parties. I mean, he had, 2 parties last weekend back to back, and then I'm sure they hung out this weekend again. I'm like, bro, that shit's exhausting, bro. Like, it's fun, I guess. It's like a high, you know what I mean? I'm sure like you have your homies over, you hang out and shit, but like setting up, cleaning up, prepping, and like, oh, I don't do, having a host, and like, hey, how you doing? And how you doing? You need something? And then like, oh, the rest of that shit gets old, bro. Like, I'm good for like 1 or 2 a year for like my birthday or like a Christmas or something like that. But after that, I'm like, hey, bro, let's go to your fucking house, bro. Or like, hey, you know what I mean? Or let's go to a bar or something, you know what I mean? Because that shit, to me...
I'm not a fan of hosting, dog.
It just, like, makes me nervous and shit. I get the nervous farts.
Dog, even freaking this past Monday was my daughter's birthday. And, dog, it was like the whole time we had it at my wife's gym, her cheer gym, right? But, dog, even though people weren't, like, in my house... I was up the entire time throwing plates away. Freaking, I just feel like when you host, that's what you do, right? You make sure everybody's good. You go up to the tables, right? Hey, are you guys good? Do you guys need another drink? All right, you kind of low? Are you sure? What do you want? You want something else to eat? You want some candy? What do you want? Well, you need some cake. Like I feel like doing that, dog, was exhausting. Monday, right? Here we are, Wednesday? I'm still like, God damn, dog. Or that was actually Sunday. So Monday was her actual birthday. Okay, that's why I'm confused. But just doing that, and Rich does it not even every weekend. It's most weekends and a lot of times during the week. And it's funny that we actually are talking about this right now. I had somebody hit me up personally on Facebook, and they said, if my neighbor had 10 to 15 kids over every night, I would build an 18-foot wall too. So,
For real.
I mean, we don't think about that either. Is as much as Rich is a great dude and has a great family, and for somebody, dog, like I don't know if that guy has a family. It doesn't sound like he does. Would you want to hear 50 million kids running around, somebody writing shit on the wall? Now they have a brand new canvas to write two shit on. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it might not all be for aesthetics. He might be wanting, like they even said, who wants privacy in their front yard? You need privacy in your backyard. I don't know though, dog. The little kids running around screaming and shit. You probably, even if you're like a single dude, you're like, I'm saving that for when I have a family. I don't have a family yet, So maybe when he does, he'll knock down the wall. But I don't know.
And I'm not hating on that because like I remember going to like a homie's house who had the pool and had like I think Cavino said that like my house was that house when we were growing up because like even they were talking about sleepovers and all too the other day like fuck that I didn't sleep over because my house was the spot. We had a homie's house who was like that for like when we had a football game, you go there. Hey, we're just gonna barbecue for the weekend, roll up, and their parents were cool, like they let us drink and blazer, so it was even another fucking incentive to go there. But so I enjoy that vibe, but it was good too. Like when you're like tired or faded or like time to go, like you just fucking leave, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like you throw your trash away and you're out. Like
Yeah,
maybe you help
right.
if it was
Your
late
day's
enough.
over.
You help clean up, you know what I mean? But if not, you're like, fuck it. Like you look around, there's fucking trash and bottles and like tables and chairs. I'm like, fuck. That's a mission. And then let alone, I know he's fucking Mr. Rich Davis money bags, but there's a cost associated with that. It comes at a price. Obviously, it sounds like they enjoy it. And I think that's beautiful that they're able to do that for their friends and family, anyone who's willing to join. But it just the fucking mental strain on me would be I would be like, fuck, I just want a fucking day off. It's funny you said the two shit, right? Dude, my mom, you want to elaborate on that? I guess when one of the kids were over, right? Rich gave them all a bunch of crayons or like chalk, that wall to write on the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
Some little fucking kid started tagging on his fucking side of the house and he put, was it two shit or shit two shit?
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, dude.
Yeah, okay, so it was funny because, Doug, I kind of forgot, like, when you're that age, Doug, because think about it. They're like, what, like first grade or something? Doug, I started thinking about that, and I remember one of our teachers walking by and was like, you guys and your potty mouths. And we're like, that's when you start discovering, like, cuss words, right? And Doug, and now they're learning how to write and spell. Dog, so some kid wrote the word "to shit" on Rich's house, dog. And then it was hilarious because Rich actually showed the letter today. Some kid that he had to write like, "Dear Coach Rich, thank you and your family for having us over. I'm sorry that I wrote, bad words on your wall." And I was just like, oh my goodness, dog. Yeah,
dude, my dad would have fucked me up. He would have made me go wash that shit with a toothbrush.
That's the thing, though, dog, is that Rich is so, and I was thinking actually last night, I'm like, we should start a thing where we do like things we like about Rich because we bag on him so much, but it's nothing that I wouldn't say to his face, right? But when I think about like things like good things about Rich is like he's so overly nice in certain aspects, right? And I'm just like that, dog. The way he was like, oh. I would have been like, who the dog? And I'm pretty chill.
Yeah.
But I would have been like, who? Like, if it was my daughter's friends, I'd be like, I don't care who it was. If one of you doesn't fess up, all of you little motherfuckers are gonna come out here and clean it, right? And you guys can go in and play once it's clean. I don't give a shit, right? But Rich is like, kids, kids. And I'm just like, dog, to his credit, he laughed it off, which, yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. And if he found it after the fact, I don't remember the exact story, but dog, I'm just like, again, like we're talking about him hosting and being the good time guy and ordering food for the kids and whatever, that's awesome. But sometimes, like you said, it catches up with you eventually. So like Rich, he said that he had to jump in the hot tub and just kick it and kind of like meditate,
decompress, really.
Yeah. But there was that, and you know what? I actually want to get in. You were talking about, you were saying, you're at a friend's house, you're there, you know, eventually you get to just leave. Well, let's take it back a few years to the conversation that Cavino Rich had about when you stay at somebody's house and you wake up early. Did you hear that conversation?
Yep.
So there was a viral video, and actually I heard Theo Vaughn talking about the same video, him and Nate Bargatze, or Bargatze, whatever. You know the guy, he does clean comedy.
Yep.
But him and Theo were talking about the same clip. So this clip has been everywhere, dog. And it's so crazy that this time of so many options, YouTube, podcast, TV, a lot of times we still see the same things, right? So they were talking about when you're a kid and you wake up in a friend's house and you're awake before everybody. What were some of the things? Can you remember, Luis, that they were talking about, the things that are weird or awkward?
Yeah. So one of them was, I know Cavino made it a point, like the temperature, right? Like maybe you're used to your house being cold and these people don't use AC, so it's hot as fuck. Sometimes like you're used to waking up late maybe and they wake up early as fuck and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Even some things that are as simple as like, oh, we always eat, I don't know, Cocoa Puffs in my house, and they have like fucking
Raisin Bran
nasty
or
ass,
something? Yeah.
yeah, just the shit that you're like, what the fuck? Like, who eats this healthy shit? And just like, there's so many things that you're accustomed at your house that when you, oh, like, he mentioned like some people, and I remember I had friends like, oh, don't go in this room, you know what I mean? Like, or if you're gonna come in the house, take your shoes off, kind of shit. Where you're in your house, like you don't give a shit, you just walk around with dirty ass shoes or barefoot or whatever. And so, just different intricacies of living and staying in someone's house. But I wasn't allowed to sleep over, which I guess my mom was probably just overprotective or whatever. But I never really had
didn't a
that.
whole lot. I didn't a whole lot. And I don't know, again, maybe I know Cavino said, like, I never did that because why would I be at somebody's house when we had everything? For me, it wasn't even really like, oh, we had everything. It was kind of like, no, somebody's going to touch you. Even like, right? That's how it was growing up. No, I don't know their parents. I don't know their family. You're not, even if they did, you're like, oh yeah, we can go. I'll pick you up at 9 or 10, but you're not going to stay the night. And so there was a few times, but the few times that I did stay somewhere, dog, I do remember waking up and being like, oh, like it feels like you're in another dimension, dog. It really feels like you're like you go to like you're with your homies, right? You guys are playing, you're freaking on N64 or whatever it is, right? And you're playing GoldenEye, right? And then you're just like, you go to sleep and you wake up in another world. Just the way they get their everything, dog, that you wake up and you're just like, or Doug, what Nate Bargatze had brought up on Theo's podcast, because they were talking about when you wake up, like Cavino and Rich, they were talking about when you wake up before everybody and it's kind of weird. Nate Bargatze was talking about when you wake up after everybody's been awake. That's a completely different feeling. You wake up, dog, your friend is already having orange juice and eating at the table with his family, and you kind of have to come out of the room. Like, you sit there for a minute being like, damn, dog, like, I don't want to go out there. It's going to be awkward, right? His parents are going to be there. Dog, and you're like, you see them all eating together. You're like, my family doesn't eat together. What the fuck, dog? This shit's so weird. Like, like my dad's on the freaking couch with his calzones and a huevo hanging out. My mom's doing dishes. Like, dog, it's not like, like, you sometimes, and you get into that family, you're like, All right, Mr. Johnson, sure, I'll take 2 pancakes. Like, you just don't know how to act, dog. It's just so weird. Whether you wake up earlier or you wake up after. Lisa said my son's friend, slept here and woke me up at 6 a.m. standing by my bed and full camouflage like Rambo. That is hilarious. And he said he was hungry. Doug, oh my goodness. But you know what? This actually goes into another story. Did you hear what happened when Cavino and Rich were telling this story? Cavino and Rich, they were having this conversation, but Cavino was in Idaho. So Cavino was just like I am, right? I'm in a room doing this, and Cavino, when he was broadcasting from Idaho, he was at his brother-in-law's house or his sister-in-law's house, whatever. The door shut. Obviously, he's doing the show. So all they could hear is one side of it. Like, yeah, man, then you wake up and you're like, oh, everything's weird. It's cold. I have to use a rug as a blanket. And you're like, or a piece of cardboard that I could find from Monopoly, right? I have to use the Monopoly board as a freaking blanket. They're talking all this shit because they're talking about when you're a kid. Well, I guess Jordan and Doug, and the graphic I had, I don't even know if I could pull it real quick. The graphic I had for freaking Jordan and let me see if I can get this real quick. Hold on.
I thought it was hilarious. It was like perfect timing.
Let me see. Doug, this is the graphic I had. So it'll go up there in a second, but I have Jordan freaking with the cup up to the door, dog. She's eavesdropping. So what happened was Jordan and her sister, all they could do, dog, is freaking. Could you see that?
Yeah.
All they could do is hear. Oh crap, dog! I messed everything up. Okay. All they could do is hear one side of the conversation. So they're thinking that Cavino's talking about staying with his girlfriend's sister. And he's like, no, dog, no. Like, I was talking about when you're a kid. And Cavino said even after, like, he was apologizing and being like, no. You guys misinterpreted what I was saying. It was because we were talking about when you're a kid. Cavino was like, they still kind of didn't believe me. They still were like, kind of offended. And I love Jordan. I love Cavino and all that, but maybe that's what you get for listening in on something you shouldn't be listening to. Because Cavino had all the proof. If they really wanted to listen, all they could do is turn on the show. And they could hear everything that they were saying, how the conversation came, how it was organic, and how they were talking about when you're a kid. So it was just so funny that something, and it was so my favorite thing, and I saw Reinhardt just joined us as well. What up, Reinhardt? So one thing that I thought was hilarious is they were pulling a clip of Don Knotts from Three's Company.
Three's a Company.
Hearing freaking Jack and Chrissy or whoever talking about
like laying the pipe.
Yeah, like, oh no, I'm about to put it in or something. Yeah, it doesn't reach or whatever. and it was exactly
going deeper.
It was exactly how it sounded because they could only hear one side of the conversation. So it's funny because, dog, my lady, she's on the phone all the time with people, right? And that's kind of how it is sometimes. Like I'll be like doing the dishes and I hear some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, what's the other side of that conversation? Because to me, it just sounds like it doesn't make any sense, you know. But I thought that was really funny that they were eavesdropping and then they ended up I don't want to say paying for it, but completely misinterpreting what was actually said. What else you got? I know you were celebrating with the Vegas Knights, so you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, just obviously Vegas born guy, and I think I've told the story. I grew up in Cali. I used to root for the Ducks just because that was a local team and the movie and shit. And then when I moved to Vegas, the Knights were barely coming up, and then unfortunately the October 1st tragic thing happened, and that was like the first kind of year they started, and so they were really good about like it gave us as a community or something to rally around and for. And they actually did really good. And I mean, they've been a really solid team. This is their third time going to Stanley Cup in their, 9 years of existence. And they made it to the conference championship 5 out of those 9 years. If Wes is here, someone could correct me, but it's still pretty good for where they're at. And yeah, man, it's always good to. I love my sports, and I love to have something, a camaraderie, something to cheer for. So I was lucky to go to the game yesterday, bro, and it was fucking badass. And so I'm rocking my shit today and stuff. So we're going to the stand. I just got my new patch sewed on here. It's from the 2023 Stanley Cup championship that we won. So who knows? Right now, we gotta hurry up and wait to see what the Eastern Conference Championship does. But for now, it's cool. The guys get to rest up and we're good. So yeah, I had some good videos of me rocking out, screaming with everybody, and
I had no idea, dog. I
we
thought they
are.
won. I thought they won the whole championship because I didn't
Nah,
know. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. So they won Western Conference.
correct. So now we passed the Stanley Cup, so we need to wait to see who wins from the Canadian Montreal Canadiens hockey team, and then I think it's Tampa Bay or some shit
Okay.
for who the other series is.
Well, that's
But
exciting.
hey, I had something written down about the guys were talking about perks. Do you have any basically like Cavino, right? He used to work for XM and a Turbo and stuff like NK Rock, so he had a lot of perks of like going to rock shows, getting to meet famous people, and they were talking about Timothy Charlemagne or whatever his name is, about
I
how
like Timothy Charlemagne. I like that. Let's go with that.
about how he has perks to seats now, and they played a little bit about how when he was growing up, he bought cheap tickets to go to the Knicks games, and all of a sudden now he's front row with one of the hottest chicks, and he's the guy, and they're winning and shit. So, um, Rich was talking about how XM they got to meet a lot of famous people and a lot of acts and stuff, and then the boys all agreed. Like the latest one was when they went backstage, like basically on the field for the All Star, and were able to see all these badass people they like, literally battling right in front of them in a batting cage and shit. So that was kind of cool. So it just got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, I've been like. I think for most of us, it might be like work stuff, if your work gives you some kind of perks. I know Rich mentioned also too, like his mom works for Lowe's, so they get like family discounts and stuff like that. But unless you know somebody famous or something like that, like Cavino, and hey, I got to meet Cavino and he took me backstage kind of shit. I think a lot of, at least for me or the average Joe, is like work related shit.
I can make
And
all the copies I want at work.
yeah, that's a perk, bro. Fuck, you can't. I mean, some of that shit costs money. You know what I mean? What do you got any? I guess, or have you had any, or
No, but
anyone you
I,
know?
I I mean I'll try and think of perks that I do have, but one of the I was thinking of if I had like I don't know if I hit the lottery or became freaking movie star with access, right? Like Timothy Charlemagne. Dog, I would do the same thing as him. I'd get like season ticket floor seats like to the Lakers, dog. I would just be like, hell yeah, dog. I'll be right there next to freaking Jack Nicholson and dog. There's this little Asian lady, dog. I don't know who the hell she is, but she's at every home game, dog. This little Asian lady right there, like right next to the bench, dog. That would be a little Asian lady and me if I ever could get that kind of access because at that point, dog, when you're as famous as him and Kylie Jenner, right, his girlfriend, you guys can pretty much do whatever you want. So that is like, what would you do if you could, right? If people say, hey, you hit the lottery of life and you can do whatever you want, what would you do? What would your perks be? And what would your perks be of that lifestyle of being able to do that? For me, dog, I thought that floor seats at the Lakers, dog, season tickets would be so dope. So the way he did it with the Knicks, I'm like, well, dog, that would be so dope. And what's cool about you is you're not only like a Vegas Knights fan, but a Dodgers fan, and dog, you could do that. Chargers, right? Multiple, right, dog. Dog, you would never, you would have to just be retire because you could be floor seats at every game ever.
Yeah, hell yeah. And even the fuck that, and back behind the scenes at concerts and shit too. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I thought
But
Doug, that was one of the perks that Covino was talking about, like for K Rock and like you mentioned, Octane and all that,
mm,
where backstage access to like everything that they did. I'm like, dog, that would be so freaking cool. And me being I love the behind the scenes type of shit. Just being backstage, like Doug, I remember one time on the lowest level possible, I was gonna go watch Sam Tripoli, right? He was playing at a local club here. And so I was gonna go. It was me, a magical Mexican that's in the chat sometimes, and my buddy Luis. We went. I pulled up, dog, and I needed my ID. I was like, "Fuck!" So I had to go back to my car. As I'm walking back to my car, I'm going like to the back of the venue, right? And there was like a couple of spots down. They were gonna play like a music show. Dog, do you remember the band The Darkness?
Nah, I can't say that. Dude.
Well, there was a band. They were like, I believe in a thing called love. Whatever.
Oh, I know that song.
Okay, so they had Duck. There was this dude that looked like he was dressed in like basically like an Elvis onesie, right? Had hair this big and a guitar, and he was fighting with one of like the production people or whatever, dog. Since it was behind the venue, I was like, at the lowest level possible, dog. I don't know who the fuck this dude was, but that's the kind of shit I would be doing at like a Drake concert, right? Or fucking System of a Down or whatever. If I had those perks, dog, that would be such a cool thing to do because I love music so much. But when it comes to actual real life perks, I don't know, Doug. I got to get back to you on that.
I'll give you mine. Maybe you can come up with a couple. But I think for me, like I said, it's really been based out of work. And so, I do industrial construction and maintenance. So I've been in areas that I guess the normal or average Joe just doesn't go or would have access to. So like I've been inside the Hoover Dam, like the actual dam, because we went to look at a pipe they wanted us to fabricate. So like we had to get clearances, escorted and shit like that. Like not any slappy goes down there. That was kind of cool. I went on top of Caesar's Palace, the casino, like where the hangover where they find the guy
Yeah.
because they wanted us to work and replace. So they have motors and cranes up there that lower and raise the guys to clean the windows.
Yeah.
So we had to go up there to go look at all this stuff. So like we had to, once again get access and look. I'm like, I'm up here. I'm like, holy shit, isn't this where they recorded the movie and shit?
That
So I was
is
like,
bad,
just
dog.
taking kind of pictures or whatever. And so I've been in some sensitive areas too. Like I've been when they were building the Tesla loop underground at the convention center. It was like we went and did a job there where they're basically just fucking cutting a hole underground. You're like, what the fuck? And you're under all this shit. I also went to the Raider Stadium when it was getting built, like right when it was being built. Same thing with the Sphere. I think I told you that. So you've seen it under construction kind of thing where like no one ever saw it unless you were there or
Yeah.
in the job. And I've also got to travel because a lot of what we do is international too. So I got to visit some pretty badass places. Like obviously Mexico is cool,
You
but
know what, Doug?
I went to
I didn't think
Brazil,
about that,
Dominican,
but
Alaska.
I mean, I haven't traveled like internationally like that, but that is cool, dog. Like when your job sends you places, right? Like I think that is kind of cool. Like I didn't think about that. Like just in August, I'm gonna go to Chicago, and I went last year, right? And it's completely we have a small airport here, so they'll fly me out of here, and it's like it's cool because they'll fly me out of here. And since I went last year, I'm like, all right, cool. I already know a couple of the things I did last year. This year, I'm like, I might catch like a Cubs game or whatever. But it's a free, not even a free trip. You're getting paid to go on a trip. So those when work sends you places across the country is super badass, So I think those traveling perks that Cavino and Rich know way too well, right? They've been all around the freaking country multiple times on their work dime, right? Whenever we go to Vegas, I mean, you're there, but whenever we go to Vegas for a Cavino and Rich thing, they're getting paid to be there. Every time any one of us goes, we're losing money going there. Hotel,
Yeah.
whether you're flying in or gas or whatever. Cavino and Rich are getting paid to stay there, and they stay in a dope ass hotel, and everything is comped. I'm like, dog, that is such a great perk. But I mean, on a much smaller level, when your company sends you somewhere and they're footing the bill for air travel and all that, I mean, that's such a cool perk. So I think that would be
Especially when you're
good one.
getting paid to do that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of badass.
There was another one I thought about, Doug, when you were talking, and I completely forgot. Let me see. You were talking about traveling, and you were talking. Well, actually, it was when you were talking about going up on Caesar's Palace and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it! What was I thinking of?
It's talking about
Um,
the hangover and the guys cleaning the windows and just like backstage act, like just like secret access, I guess. Or I was also at the airport. Like I got to see at the inside of the airport how that shit works and all that, which is kind of cool.
yeah. Um, Damn it, I can't remember. But anyway, you know what? That's why I actually put this here, so I can actually start writing things down whenever I have a thought. I haven't used it though. I only have a pen right here. But yeah, but there's I mean, and let us know in the chat if there's any perks that you have, either personally, professionally, or whatever. Um, I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I can think of. Traveling, I think traveling is probably the best one. Um, and for you, I mean, going up on the top of Caesar's Palace and all that, that's freaking cool. Um, what else? I think that's all I have on that, but on the perks. But what else is there? I'm trying to think. Oh, there was a conversation that they had, dog, and it was regarding Livvy Dunne versus Brooks Nader. And I thought I had made up my mind, right? Until I started pulling pictures for today, which we can't use now. But I'll let you know what my thought originally was and how it's changed. But do you have a preference, Livvy Dunne or Brooks Nader?
I think I'm gonna go with Brooks Nader, not even to be on their sack, because I went and did some research for the show, obviously, and I agree with a lot of this. Like Livy Dunn is hot, and she's just younger, and I'm not even that older anymore or younger. But Brooks Nader just looks more like she gives more of the Pamela vibe, which is just kind of like what that role is, and obviously as a fucking young man when Pamela was the shit, to me. So I'm gonna go with Brooks Nader.
And that was my initial thought because I had I even put in the chat, Livvy Dunne, she's bad, but she's a girl. Brooks Nader is a woman, right? That girl is a woman, right? Brooks Nader is a woman. But when I was going through to pull pictures for this one or that one for today, Livvy, I think Livvy Dunne is way hotter facially because Brooks Nader has so much like she's beautiful, obviously, but she's got like you could tell like her lips are enhanced and she's got like some work done. Livvy Dunne is more naturally beautiful, but Brooks Nader, dog, she's got body, ba 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 boom, right? And Livvy Dunne, she's hot, she's a gymnast. But Brooks Nader, she's got more of a woman's body. So initially I said Brooks Nader. Today in doing research, I would say Livvy Dunne. So I don't know. I guess oh shit, great.
And to each their own, like provolone, but I guess it just depends how old you are, and what your privilege. I get either one. Obviously, fuck, I'll take whatever. But beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, I still maybe if you show me next time, if you show me the evidence you have, maybe I'll change my mind. But for now, I'm gonna go with what I had.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Brooks Nader versus Livvy Dunne was a cool one. And I'm trying to think of we have a couple more minutes. I'm trying to think of anything else that I had on my actual notes. Um you know what?
I got a couple short outs and a
All
couple
right,
things
go
when
ahead.
you're
Give a
ready.
couple of charts and I'll look through here and see if I have anything else.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I don't know if he's listening or will, but we had a new Cavino Rich family guy who joined the Carls on Facebook. I want to say his name's Sean Fields. It was cool of him to go out there and say, "Hey, man, I found these guys on FSR, and he might have heard or someone talk. I think those guys say, "Hey, come support us." So, and I seen you throw out, "Hey, man, if you need a subscription." So, that's kind of people we need, right? Carl supporting Carl. It was cool, man. I think shit, it's up to like 77 likes and 50 comments for this random guy who just said, "Hey, I'm new to the group," and you got all these people welcoming him and saying, "Hey, this is what we're here to do," and just kind of want to reinforce the last time I was talking shit about someone else who was talking shit about one of the Carls
Yeah.
about trying to rep himself or whatever, which is kind of horseshit. So just want to Carl supporting Carl's, and this is a good community for people to basically do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't talk shit to someone
You know what?
personally.
Actually, one of the things that I'm just thinking about now, Doug, one of the perks about being a Cavino and Rich listener that we didn't even think about was the fact that we get to meet people from all over the country. Doug, we went well, you went down the street, but we all went to Vegas, right? And got to hang with people, dog, that we've, known for years. Some of them we've met in person, some of them we haven't. Dog, when I was doing the show with El Cucuy, I would never go to Lompoc in my life. Dog, Lompoc was such a beautiful little town. And then we went to Pismo Beach. We went to all these places, dog, that I wouldn't have gone to if it wouldn't have been for the Cavino and Rich show. So like one of the perks about listening to them and that community that they've built is the fact that like Black Ice, he said he goes all over the country and never has to get a hotel because he's always staying with somebody. And Doug, and I'm just like, how cool is that? So the dude, you mentioned the dude that was checking out the Carl page from Fox Sports Radio. I have another story, dog. There was a dude that had sent me a friend request on Facebook, and it was like Carl Bosner or something, right? And I was like, I don't know this motherfucker, right? And I didn't delete it. I just left it pending. I was like, I don't know. Maybe something will come through that I kind of, this is where I know him from or whatever. No, dog, it had been like 2 weeks, right? And I left it pending because I was just like, I don't know, dog, whatever. And then I saw him post on the Carl page, and he was like, I got a Cavino duty time tail, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh shit, dog. I went straight to my friends and I accepted the request. Because I was like, this whole time I was thinking this was either a fake account or some fucking weirdo. And it was a Carl that I had just never known of. So I thought that was super cool that he reached out for friendship, right? Via Facebook. And I thought that was super cool because this dude, I didn't know who he was. Now, we're buddies on Facebook, and I got to go and check out some of his stuff, and it's just really cool, Doug. Like you said, Carl supporting Carl's. Carl is the guy. Oh, Lisa said Carl is the guy who was with me and Mike and Megan all that time in Vegas. So he was in Vegas. Okay. And I did see that I had a mutual friend, Megan Fossey, was a friend of a mutual friend. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. He's a mutual friend. He's on the Carl page. Did I meet him in person? I wonder if I met him in person. I don't know. We'll have to circle back.
Are you big time enough with Daniel?
Doug, do you remember meeting him?
No.
Are you big time in? Okay.
He didn't add me, bro. I can't defend myself.
You're right.
Lisa said she's getting ready to go to Cali. She's gonna be. Don't worry, Rich will host you. I'll take you right in.
I'm sure they're gonna. Can you imagine, Doug? I can just imagine Lisa with her apron and freaking Sarah baking cookies, Doug. I could just picture like Rich come home and be like, "Wait, what the hell? Oh, Sarah, who's your friend? It's Lisa Paraggio." Really? I could just see Lisa, Dog, just having that instant bond and just coming in and being welcomed into the home. So I don't think you're gonna scare them, Lisa. I think if anything, you're just gonna bring the great, sweet vibes that you always bring to not only the show but to the Carl page, to the Cavino and Rich convention. Which, can you believe, Doug? We're less than a month away from the year anniversary.
That's crazy.
I can't believe it's been that long. I can't believe, like, obviously it doesn't feel like it was yesterday, but if it was like, if you would have told me like, oh yeah, the CRC was like 3 months ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. Like, it was a little ways away, but we're less than 30 days away from it being a year. That doesn't even seem right to me. I'm like, dog, like, I think hopefully after Spot gets all healed and everything and is all good to go, hopefully 2027 we can have another Cavino and Rich convention. I don't think Cavino wants to do anything for his 50th. I feel like they're still going to plan something for him, even though he doesn't want to. But I think it'll be more family. So as far as the Cavino and Rich convention, I think we're gonna have to see that in 2027. But yeah, I don't know what else you have, Luis. I know we're coming up on time, so if you want to just, I know you had some charts, so that's very cool. But if you have anything else.
No, I just wanted to wish your daughter a belated birthday. I know Spot and they recognize your daughter and have seen your wife posting. I know you mentioned it. So I think you said she's 10?
10, yeah, Doug.
Damn, bro. Be careful. It's going to go by quick.
Doug, it's already gone by quick. Like, Doug, like it's just so crazy. You know what I found the other day? I when my daughter was born, when I kept a journal, going to the hospital. Like we're on her, like mommy just, we're headed to the hospital. I kept like a little note on my phone. It was like 6:57 p.m. We're in room like 712 or whatever, right? I kept that all the way up until like we brought you home or whatever, right? And what I did was for one of her birthdays, I put that together with pictures from those couple of days and like timestamps on each of it. And I found that the other day in her room, the little book. So I'm like, dog, I can't believe that was 10 years ago. Like, it flies by so fast. And people with older kids, I can't imagine how the next, 10, 15 years are going to go by. My buddy Luis and I, we were chilling with his dad. And he was like, dude, he's like, it must be crazy for like my dad to be chilling with us as like grown men now, And I'm like, it's just crazy, dog. I can't even imagine. I can't, but thank you. I will send your love my daughter's way and tell her happy birthday from you and from all the Cavino and Rich family. Yeah, man. And in the morning I'm heading to Phoenix. So
I don't know her hat size or her favorite team, so next time she has another charity or whatever, I'll do my best to chip in.
She likes black. Her hat size is 7 5/8, and she loves the Lakers. So
there you go.
I'm just saying, dog.
I'll set you up. I'll set her up.
But yeah, man. Appreciate. Oh, and Fournier is up here. He said, "Upload the episodes." Andrew, I haven't uploaded an episode in about 2 months to Spotify and all that. But you know what? I'm doing it tonight. I'm doing it tonight. I'm gonna I'm like probably 4 episodes behind. So what I'll do, Andrew, is I'm gonna upload them not all together. I'll upload one tonight, and then for the next however many days until we're caught up, there will be 1 episode every day until we're caught up, Andrew. So appreciate that. Appreciate if you missed it earlier. I talked about something we may have discussed. So go and see if you could find that little Easter egg in the show. And yeah, man, I think we're wrapping it up here. So, Luis, I appreciate you and your time, making your time as you have already for about 40 episodes that we've been doing this together. So, 30 or 40 or however many it's been together. So I appreciate your time. It's very valuable. The one thing that we can't get back in life, right? So, appreciate it all. Remember, you guys can always text us 928-235-5285. Hit us up on any social media at AfterShowBL, and catch us on Patreon, patreon.com/TASBL. If you can't remember the Patreon, just remember it's the first letter of the After Show But Later. So patreon.com/TASBL, and you can join for free. All right, so After Show But Later, it's your boys D, Luis Cortez Jr. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens, and come and spend a day in the 757.